Hey guys, what's up, iFlynn here, and today I wanted to show you guys my Vault Umbral speed build. Now, by no means do you have to exactly copy this speed build. It's not the definitive speed build, it is my speed build. It's the one that I like using because I like being a selfish Vault, because a lot of people that I play with don't really like getting that speed buff from Vault, so I mod for like negative range, a lot of duration, and a lot of power strength, which in my opinion is really how it should be, unless you're going into a group of players who want to speed run but may not necessarily have Vault. That way then you can make, your own power range speed build or whatever you want. But this is just the build that I like to use, and I'm going to show you guys basically the build in the planes and some other things that I do to kind of complement the speed build itself, right? So whenever it goes into understanding the Vault speed build, what you have to keep in mind is that speed works like a multiplier for your movement speed, right? So if you take a look at your abilities and you take a look at speed, you see that we have a speed multiplier of 2.6, right? So it's going to multiply your base sprint speed by that number, and that number is affected by your power strength, and that's why you throw on as much power strength as you possibly can fit on. So in this current build, I'm assuming 322% power strength, and that puts us up to that 2.6. So obviously, like, the more power strength you put on, you're gonna run into some diminishing returns, right? So some people would expect it to be, whenever you're at 100% power strength, then it's like a 1 times. Then whenever you get to 2 times, it's or 200% power strength, it's the 2 times. Doesn't necessarily work like that. It gets to the point where it might not be worth throwing on that much power strength, but we have a lot of power strength on anyway, and we're doing as much as we can to kind of increase that base sprint speed, right? So we have sprint boost on here to give us 50% or 15% extra sprint speed, and then we have rush on to give us another 30%, which is awesome. So that is basically 45% extra sprint speed at base, which, increases our base sprint speed to 1.30 and then 1.45, which is cool. Yeah. And then we have on our duration. So we have our Now Reminded plus Prime Continuity, which is just to make our speed last for 22 seconds. We haven't got Fleeting on here, so there's nothing negating our duration apart from Transient Fortitude, where we take a big hit, but because we have Now Reminded on and we don't care that much about range, it doesn't really matter that much. We get 22-second duration on our speed anyway. The only real downside here is you only have 75% power efficiency, which means that speed actually costs a little bit extra energy to cast, right? So it takes 31 energy to cast this, and because you don't have the likes of flow on, that 31 energy is actually huge, kind of, a little bit, but that's where things like Energizing Dash or even Energy Cookies come into play, because if you're going to be speedrunning for a mission, I'm assuming you're going to be using those types of things anyway, right? So from that point onwards, we just basically throw on as much power strength as we can. We have Transient Fortitude, Blind Rage, and then Umbral Intensify and Augur Secrets. Now, the reason I'm using Umbral Intensify is because that gives us a 14% extra, 14% extra power strength compared to using regular Intensify, which is 30%. On this, we have 44, and the reason that I opted for Augur Secrets over an Umbral Vitality is because we'd only really be getting an increase of 11% if we were to use Umbral Vitality instead of Augur Secrets, right? So with this build, you're not going to be tanking a lot of shots, right? So that's not the idea. You're not going to be taken into this mission or this build into a mission where you're gonna need a lot of health. It's go in, capture the target, go in, kill all the enemies, and just get out of there. It's not like, oh yeah, I need to tank a lot of things, or something's going to be damaging me here type of thing. So that's why I've opted for no health. But of course, if you really wanted to, you could change the polarities on this or change some of the mods and then go ahead and throw on Umbral Vitality. Then that way you'll have a decent amount of health as well. Now, it's completely up to the player, but because I'm someone who likes to parkour a lot and I don't get shot that much, and just because I'm used to the parkour in the game, it doesn't really make sense for me personally to be running Umbral Vitality, right? Lightning Dash is on here because I feel like it flows really well with the extra speed. You get extra momentum on your bullet jump, aim, glide, wall lash, etc. And you also leave lightning behind, so it looks cool. You can use pretty much anything: Fire Walker, Toxic Flight, Ice Spring, etc. Or you could change this for a completely different mod. Entirely up to you. Even Vitality, regular Vitality could go on here if you wanted to. But because, again, I like the super speed, this is what I'm running. And then I have Streamline on here for a little bit off that casting efficiency, so it's not costing like 50 energy per cast of speed, right? Because like I said, we've got no flow mod on here, so whenever we're casting our abilities, it's taking a big chunk out of our maximum energy, which isn't necessarily a good thing. But like I said, Zeneric, energy cookies, etc. is what you're going to be relying on with this build. And then we have Arcane Consequence over here, and what this does is this increases your parkour velocity by 40%. You get a 100% chance on a headshot. So yeah, it's pretty good, pretty useful. And you have 2, the effect does stack, so it's worth having on. Again, don't have to run those, but it's very nice, and I'll show you the effects whenever we jump into the planes. I'm going to be using my polearm. I'm going to use a single shot semi-auto just so we can get the headshots, as well as a single shot semi-auto pistol as well for the headshots. And then basically just going to demonstrate how fast this is in the planes, because it's kind of one of the largest areas, and kind of how I parkour using all of it in conjunction with one another. And going to go ahead and get my Zeneric as well. So here we go. Focus. Zeneric. Awesome. So in the Zeneric tree, let's just go ahead and show. Energizing Dash is what you want right here. And this is going to make it so you can regen your energy. 5 energy per second while standing in the bubble. And then 30 seconds off 5 energy per second once you leave it or once it disappears. So yeah, there's that. But let's go ahead and load into the planes. Now, I'm not going to load directly into the planes here, because there's some weird thing with my computer. Whenever I try to load into the planes directly from my orbiter, it will do a crash. I don't know why that's a thing, but it's been a thing since the planes has came out. So kind of unfortunate, but you know, all it means is I have to load in to see this and then go up the door. But you can already see that you know, we have a lot of momentum whenever we're jumping with Volt here. So yeah, I guess the only real difference is the fact that you're swapping out regular Intensify for Umbral Intensify, and you're getting like 14% extra power strength, you know? And it gives you the option, if you want to replace Augur Secrets for the Umbral Vitality or whatever. You don't even have to replace Augur Secrets. You could probably replace Lightning Dash and then, you know, fit it on that way. But there's a lot of different ways to do it. But yeah, just to kind of give you an idea, this is how fast we're running. This lasts for 22 seconds, and this will get you through a lot of the missions in the game very quickly, especially whenever you're considering that, hey, you're going to be doing capture missions on small tile sets like Corpus tile sets, Grenier tile sets, Infested tile sets. They're pretty easy to get around, and this isn't even using other things like our bullet jumping and meleeing to extend our airtime, etc. So whenever you kind of combine it all together, like I'm holding down mouse 5 to sprint right now, and then from mouse 5, I go into a slide by holding down shift, and then I'm going to do a double jump by pressing spacebar twice. And then I'm going to do a double roll in the air by double tapping my mouse 4. Like that. Well, it's not a double roll. It's just kind of a single roll. But I like to double tap it just to kind of confirm the roll. And then from that roll, I go back into a slide by pressing shift. And then I just repeat the jumping process again. And that's how I kind of like chain all of my my movement together, I guess. And then once you kind of get that down, you can throw in other things like meleeing. Like so. So you melee before your roll. And then you can aim glide at the end, and then use your operator to dash forward as well. So yeah, and just make sure at the end of your kind of like jumping combo, slide before you hit the ground. Because if you're to jump in the air and not slide, it locks you in that animation right there. And if it locks you in that animation, that's going to slow you down. Enemies are going to shoot at you, and it's going to be all over, right? Especially in higher level content or levels of content that are like 30, 40, something like that. So yeah, so just to kind of go through it, sprint, slide, double jump, roll, aim glide, or sprint, slide, double jump, melee, roll, aim glide, you know, stuff like that. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy. Once you get the hang of it, it just all comes down to muscle memory, honestly, and obviously bringing your operator into the mix as well. The reason that I can go so far and go so fast with my operator is because of the Naramon waybounds. So yeah, the waybound passives. So you unbind those and then you bind them into your Zeneric or whatever. And then that way you're able to use the Naramon stuff. You have that higher energy capacity, and you can also fly really far, really fast with your Naramon stuff. So it's all about just comboing it together. And then also Arcane Consequence is another thing that I have to show you. I need to get a headshot. So let's see if we can find the bad guy. That would be cool. And basically what that's going to do is it's going to give us a little bit more momentum in the air. So let's see if we can get a headshot here. So there. We go a lot further with every single bullet jump now. So let's just go ahead and go this way. You can see how far we kind of travel with a single bullet jump. So yeah, just continue to do your little sequence or order of movements, and then you'll get yourself pretty far. So Arcane Consequence doesn't last that long, but it's a really good arcane just for getting around. Like, you can equip it on some of the slowest frames in the game, like Rhino. Let's say I want to use Rhino in the plains, you know, like, because he's really good at CC or whatever. Then just bring like a single shot, like a Pandero or something, and then you know, you'll get around pretty fast, pretty far. So yeah, that's basically the Vault speed builds. Of course, this build isn't for everybody because some people don't tech well to the increased momentum, the increased speed. They find it kind of off-putting, and they just don't like it, which is why, again, I don't build for range on mine, because I'm just being considerate of other people. If I want to play Vault and use the extra speed, that's totally fine, but I understand if another person doesn't want to. And other than that, that's pretty much it. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed this video, go ahead, hit that like button below. If you want to see more Warframe content from me, hit subscribe. I'll see you guys in the next video.